Welcome to Leatherman. This is how it started.
Well, this is Nate, and I'm at the Leatherman factory in Portland, Oregon, and these huge coils of steel are getting turned into multi-tools. This is where it all starts, and I brought all my cameras, and I'm going to show you all of it, and we get to speak to some of their engineers and their CEO later about how they come up with the ideas, so you guys are going to love this.
The essence of every Leatherman is engineering. Not only the engineering that brought the first Leatherman to market, but the engineering that it takes to make every Leatherman better and better, more useful, and frankly more affordable. If you like Leatherman anywhere near as well as I do, you're going to like this video, which is a look behind the curtain at how the engineers that think these thoughts and develop these systems do what they do.
There's no such thing as a perfect anything. All you do is you have a pencils down date. Like, will it work in its form? Yes. Can it be improved? Of course. All right, let's move forward.
Adam Lazenby was the lead architect for the Free series, the newest multi-tool released by Leatherman. And this phase of the engineering that he works on is taking the ideas and goals and concepts for upcoming tools and turning them into a working prototype.
I mean, the company's DNA is manufacturing and engineering. That's like the core, that's where it started. It's 200 yards of factory behind us right now. Like that's the foundation of the company.
Peter Parker leads the team of design engineers that brings Adam's architecture to detailed specifics, and then the whole project gets handed off to Alex Silleck and the other manufacturing engineers who have to figure out how in the world to make the thing.
If there's something that we can't answer as engineers, we've got guys down there taking care of our tools who can give us that hands-on, okay, if I try this, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we have some of the best sheet metal forming people like in the world.
I don't think anybody that buys this has a clue what goes in. Yeah, we have to drop them off into this so they don't scratch each other when they land. Wow.
There's twice as many engineers here that are about making the stuff than designing the stuff. The designing the stuff happens in the beginning and then at launch, and if you do it well, you don't have to touch it anymore.
Yeah.
Then maybe you're cost reducing or something, qualifying a new supplier.
Yeah.
So if all goes well, the engineers are making stuff, getting it out the door at a good cost so that the customer doesn't have to pay too much, and so it does, looks good and is strong like it's supposed to be.
And that's probably the hardest job, is figuring out how to make something.
Can I get that in writing? Yeah.
Well, like if you look at so I did the architecture of the Free. I was able to do that more or less by myself. Peter and a team at the time of like 5, 6 design engineers were able to take the architecture and make it into a full developed design. And then it took, what was it, a team of like 15?
I think
20?
So. Yeah, 15 or 20.
Manufacturing engineers to figure out how to make it.
The actual factory here at Leatherman is unbelievable. There's just so many neat machines and robots and pieces of equipment pretty much everywhere you look. And then all of the planning and engineering that goes into setting it up and laying it out. There's over 200 steps in making a Leatherman. And so all of the skilled technicians, the machine operators, the assemblers, they have to be able to use all of these tools and robots and understand how to maintain them and keep them running. And they can make, on a good day, up to 14,000 multi-tools in one day, that is. So as you can imagine, it takes a lot of effort to keep things running that smooth. The other thing that stood out to me was how remarkably clean the whole factory was. It almost felt more like a school or a regular office workspace than a metal shop. All the metal shops I've been in are covered in shavings and grease and dust and grime, and this didn't feel anything like that at all. It was almost sterile, like maybe not quite hospital level clean, but way more clean than you would expect. all of this technology and engineering that exists in all of these tools and robots is truly mind-blowing, and it should come as no surprise that the CEO of the company is also an engineer.
Is it nice having Ben understand where you're coming from in terms of like all of these challenges?
That part of it is really good, because he's able to look at the design and go, be careful, your knife blade is going to hit right there. And he's usually right.
CEOs don't do that.
Our CEO is, in his heart, a product guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's cool, we got to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Not that I feel like our team would do it anyways, but there's no selling a story to your executives, because your executives know where you're coming from. You better come correct, because he's got that experience. He's come from the floor. He helped set up some of our areas. He's helped buy some of that equipment. You know, he knows it backwards and forwards. So
Ben Rivera has been with Leatherman since 1991. He came in as a manufacturing engineer out of Oregon State University, and he's been involved with every aspect of engineering these tools, from designing them to making them, and of course, using them regularly on his adventures. What happened after the Wave went out and released and was a smash hit? Were you able to kind of sit back and just like relax and be like, we made the perfect Leatherman? Or were you even right then like, okay, now the mini Wave, or what happened?
I've never felt like we've made the perfect Leatherman. I feel like it's a constant evolution. It's a constant learning process. It's a constant incorporation of that learning to improve the product. Even the Wave, honestly, the first Wave only lasted 6 years when we replaced it with another Wave, which was, once again, completely retooled and incorporated all the learnings we had from the first Wave. And I would say for sure Free represents all the learnings that we've had from the Wave as well, including the ability to access every tool without having to use fingernails and one-handedly, where I don't even have to. The Wave had one-handed knife blades, but the Free is one-handed everything.
Now, it's not all robots at Leatherman. The company employs over 500 people in Portland, Oregon, who are doing everything from running and maintaining these machines, making all the parts, and then assembling the tools, and of course, all the marketing, accounting, shipping, and other jobs that exist to help spread these tools to over 80 countries where they're sold.
What makes a Leatherman so useful is that it's there when needed. And one of the components that facilitates it being there when needed is the fit, the finish, the design of the product, to where somebody not only has it with them when they need it, they desire to carry it around for those. When they take it out, they want to show it to somebody and tell the story of the product, and maybe even how they got the product. So many of them are given on commemorating events, whether it's a graduation from high school or boot camp or a wedding or Eagle Scouts or things of that nature. And so the product is designed in such a way that it's a commemorative. It marks an event in someone's life. Often they're engraved with a name. They're given in a presentation almost, and then people carry them with them because of the meaning that maybe it carries with them. And then they discover, holy smokes, I can start my boat when I'm adrift on the river, or I can, cut a fish hook out of my ear, or whatever the thing is that happened that wasn't expected. And so the fit and the finish and the design of the product are definitely part of the formula for being there when needed.
Recently, Leatherman started a special project, a small team pushing the limits of the engineering called Leatherman Garage. This is Ben Rivera, Andro Purnomohadi, and Lee Leatherman working together to expand and test the boundaries of engineering the tools and kind of looking for answers about what's possible, what customers might want, and even new ways to make the tools. Now, they're not collectible tools, but they are limited runs and special editions nonetheless.
Out of anything, if I learned a lot from this project, is this one. This was a curveball. This is basically a G10 layer. G10 is a fiberglass in a way. It's with resins, but it has two different color, right? And you have to combine them. The first prototype came out like potato chips, so that would not work at all. Yeah. And you have to maintain the straightness of this, because you can't assemble it in the tool if it's not straight. Right. So that exposed a lot of the challenges that we. Honestly, I didn't anticipate that. I was like, well, how hard can it be? Just make 2 layers and call it good. But it was very challenging to do this.
One of the things we've done differently on the dark side was to develop a process for applying DLC coating to the jaw. So DLC coating is a PVD coating. It's done in a vacuum. It's like a plasma chamber, and any impurities, any impurities that get into that chamber cause massive problems with the coating process. The advantage of DLC coating is that it's super thin, super shiny, super durable, just a beautiful quality coating, but it's really finicky about how you apply it. And so, you know, we put a threaded fastener into the jaw so that we could disassemble it for coating and then reassemble it after coating, which is something we've never had to do before. Yeah, I think the challenge for us is creating a product that people will buy it for all the things that they imagine they will do. So we have to put enough value and design and everything into it that somebody's willing to pay $100 or whatever it is for the tool. But then when it comes in that super moment of need, it's like at that moment they would have paid $200 or $300 or $400 for it if only they knew when they were buying it that was the value it was going to have for them. And then you know, the Leatherman reputation is built from tool tales. It's built from word of mouth. It's built from social media, so to speak, before there was an iPhone. I mean, it was literally word of mouth at one point in time, and of course now we have social media, and in many ways I think that has taken the place or supplemented word of mouth.
Well, I had such a good time visiting Leatherman, and coincidentally, that tool that Ben and Andro were talking about, the Dark Side, was scheduled to launch the following Tuesday, and I was there on Friday. So when I got home, I signed up for the newsletter alert, and when it came, I was ready, and I ordered one. And I just love it, mostly because when I look at it, and I keep it with my camera gear, it just reminds me of what these engineers are accomplishing. So if you got a Leatherman, hopefully this helps you appreciate it a little more. Thanks for watching. Keep up the good work.
Nice saw. Nice serrated blade. Oh, file. Be nice, and big old knife.